Hi guys, Charlie from Monocular 3D. Welcome to Pro Tips. Today we're going to check out the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra. Let's get into it. Welcome to Monocular 3D Pro Tips. My name is Charlie. Today we're excited to introduce you to the latest from Elegoo. It's the Saturn 4 Ultra. We have heaps to get through, so let's dive into the top 5 features. First up, we have the tilt release technology. This feature claims to assist with the peeling forces between the model and the bottom of the vat. This should help reduce those annoying print and help with printing large, flat, solid parts. Well, let's wait and see. Next up is the Hinged Lid. Well, this practical design allows for easy access to the print area without having to remove the cover and no more struggling where to put those damn lids. The third feature is the new latch mechanism for the build plate. This aims to help secure and create a stable attachment, plus allow for easy removal and replacement of the build plate. Number 4 is AI monitoring. The Saturn 4 boasts advanced AI capabilities. To monitor print progress in real time, the marketing team at Elegoo claim it can detect issues early, notify you instantly, and even make adjustments to ensure your print success. Finally, no need to level the build plate with the self-checking automatic leveling system. The printer performs a comprehensive self-check before each print and automatically levels the build plate, ensuring optimal print conditions and reducing the need for manual adjustments. But before we get into the new features, let's first appreciate how great this printer looks. It's a glimpse into the future, brought to life with a design that combines modern aesthetics and futuristic elements. Featuring a brand new 4-inch vertical screen, the Elegoo 4 Ultra offers an intuitive and user-friendly interface. Built with a full metal construction and stylish front plate made of a high-quality plastic, this printer feels like it's designed to last. Strangely, the Wi-Fi, USB and power ports are all placed on the side. I prefer to see them on the front, as it can be tricky to reach back there when you're tight for space. This model does feature a spot for an extraction tube, which could be handy if you're setting up a print farm or in a confined area where resin fumes might be a problem. It's not all just about the looks. The Saturn 4 claims to deliver on performance too, with a substantial print size that meets all your needs. Equipped with a decent 10-inch 12K mono LCD screen, the Saturn 4 Ultra boasts an impressive 11,520 by 5,120 resolution, with large format printing allowing for big parts or multiple smaller parts. Check out these results. Admittedly, we did have a few issues to start with, but once we dialed in this printer, you can see how the details really pop with that 12K screen. While most printers use the Z-axis to move the build plate up and down, the tilt release mechanism simplifies and speeds up the process. By tilting the resin tank, the model is peeled off the release film more efficiently, allowing for less suction and peeling forces. According to Elegoo, this tilting mechanism allows the Saturn 4 Ultra to achieve impressive printing speeds of up to 150mm per hour. It's about time we saw a hinged lid on these lower cost printers. Not too much to ask for, to be honest, but well done for doing it, Elegoo. It's such a simple thing, but makes the workflow so much easier. One thing to remember, when the lid is completely open, it does stand at 75 centimeters tall, so you'll need at least 80 centimeters of clearance if you're planning on putting it under a cupboard. This new lid design works well, but I would like to see a handle, as I reckon this will get sticky pretty quickly. While other printers use those standard screw knobs, the Saturn's new lat feature stands out for its user-friendly design and robust performance. With a smooth operation, this latch ensures a tight seal every time, locking the build plate into position, and it makes it really easy to remove once the print is over. I have to say, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. This new build plate design has some fundamental issues. First, there's no way to manually level this printer. It relies on a spring system to make it always level. The build platform is laser etched. This should enhance the print adhesion. This is a feature we've seen from many manufacturers over the last few generations, and it's good to see Elegoo continuing the trend, but I'm not sure how well this one actually works. Compared to the Anycubic checkered pattern, I did have a few issues initially. before we dialed in the settings. Now the gap between the top of the build plate and the bottom is a nightmare to clean, with resin getting stuck in between and caught around these posts. I understand why they've done this, to reduce the resin displacement from the plate entering the vat, but they could have just made the vat a little bit bigger to compensate and made the design more like the GK2 from Uniformation. This gap is a real problem, especially for those who want to work with multiple resins. Despite Elegoo's user-friendly design claim, this issue forces users to have to submerge the build plate in cleaning solution such as Resin Away or fully dismantle the whole build plate to clean it properly. It feels like a step back, and I'd have real reservations on buying this printer due to this design. They include this resin drip tray and it seems like an afterthought, and I'm not sure why they didn't include a little latch or a place to hang the build plate to allow it to drip off into the resin vat. On the plus side, the drip tray does reduce the risk of resin getting all over the front of your printer. It does keep the workspace cleaner, but it would have been nice if the lid would have closed while this was on. So every time you turn on the printer, you're greeted with a device self-check test. Just with one click, the Saturn 4 Ultra performs a quick self-check to ensure all components are functioning properly. This seems high-tech and probably a little overkill. I would have liked to focus on getting the fundamentals right before adding smarts like this. When turning on the Saturn 4 Ultra, you're greeted with a prompt to update the firmware. Fortunately, this is a straightforward process once you're connected to Wi-Fi. Note you'll have to reboot the machine a few times to complete the firmware installation. So now that we're ready to go, let's start printing. One standout feature of the Saturn 4 Ultra is its ability to send files directly to the printer via Wi-Fi. Elegoo states that you can manage and monitor multiple printers simultaneously from a single device. For example, here at Monocular 3D, you could walk upstairs to the office while sending a batch of files to multiple printers in the print lab downstairs. Even if the printers are in another building, but not on the same network, this system would still work seamlessly. After sending files to the printer, you'll need to start the print job on the printer itself. This ensures that the printer is properly set up and ready to go. One of the features of this printer is the ability to perform multiple calibrations, 4, 6 or even 8 partitions in a single print. Now that does sound impressive. This feature claims to dramatically speed up resin calibration, saving you time and money. Here at Monocular 3D, we've put our new mini resin to the test with our own calibration procedure. Well, the results speak for themselves. Accurate and reliable resin calibration that makes our workflow smoother and more efficient. You've got to like that. Another new feature of the Ultra is the AI camera monitoring in real time. You can track your print's progress live right from the connected device. You can make some great time lapses. The lack of light is an issue, with some users adding a light. Make sure it's a warm white as not to risk setting off the resin for longer prints. So the one thing I'd be doing is adding a handle to this printer. I don't want fingerprints all over this beautiful new lid. I really like the calibration feature. I just struggle a little bit on how to tell which model was which after they were printed. In the box you'll find the afterthought drip tray, an AC adapter with an Australian plug, which is great since I'm in Australia, a comprehensive manual to guide you through the setup and operation, and of course the printer itself. Cleverly packed inside the printer are the toolkit and the build plate. Inside the toolkit you'll find all the essential tools you need to get started. You get the Wi-Fi, the scraper, the mounting screws for the vat, the USB stick, masks and the resin filters. Overall, this is a decent resin printer for the price. I would like to see some less fancy features like AI cameras and self-checking, and more fundamental things like a build plate that doesn't drip everywhere and the ability to lift off as it tilts. For some reason they have removed the lift feature, thinking they're making it easier and faster, but it will be easy for them to include it as an option and just giving us a little bit more control over the print settings. Remember, for all our Australian-made resins work perfectly in the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra, and the settings can be found on our website. I'm really glad I had a chance to unbox it before telling everyone to rush out and buy one. Saying that, for $600, it's pretty affordable, and I just wish Elegoo would fix some of these issues before sending it out. I'll be interested to see where they go with their next printer.